Getting your hair caught in a vacuum cleaner beater bar isn't a simple domestic mishap. It is an explosive mechanical trap that transforms high-speed rotary torque into localized structural tension. Within milliseconds, mechanical energy locks onto your scalp, initiating a catastrophic sequence of deep tissue deformation and neural alarm. The power behind this pull originates in the motor. Modern vacuum beater bars rotate at upwards of 4,000 revolutions per minute, driven by electric motors that generate intense rotational torque. When loose hair strands enter the rotating path, this mechanical energy transfers directly into the keratin shafts without losing momentum. As hair wraps around the rotating cylinder, friction multiplies exponentially through the Capstan effect. With every additional turn, the holding force increases according to the mathematical formula $T_2 equals T_1 E caret backslash mu backslash theta $. What began as a gentle pull instantaneously transforms into an unbreakable, high-tensile mechanical clamp. While a single hair strand snaps under roughly 100 grams of force, thousands of bundled strands locked around a rotating spindle pool their tensile strength. This collective cable effect resists breaking, transmitting hundreds of newtons of pulling force straight into the delicate anchoring structures of your dermal tissue. As tension peaks, the pulling force transmits down the hair shafts into the dermis. The tough, fibrous layer of the scalp, the galea aponeurotica, is pulled upward into a conical tension peak. Subcutaneous fat compartments squeeze tight, driving localized tissue strain far beyond normal physiological limits. Deep within the dermis, each hair shaft is anchored by a complex biological assembly. The hair bulb sits enclosed within inner and outer root sheaths, woven tightly into collagen fibers. These microscopic anchors are designed to hold hair against daily brushing, but not against industrial motorized torque. Under extreme mechanical load, the structural limits of the dermal root sheath fail. The hair bulb is torn violently from its base, shearing the dermal papilla away from its surrounding matrix. This traumatic avulsion destroys the cell layer responsible for hair growth, causing irreversible microstructural damage. Simultaneously, the delicate erector pili muscle, the smooth muscle band responsible for making hair stand on end, is stretched past its yield point and snaps. Surrounding sebaceous glands rupture under the mechanical strain, spilling cellular contents and lipids directly into the surrounding extracellular matrix. The extreme upward shear force simultaneously destroys the delicate capillary loops feeding the hair bulb. Microvessels rupture instantly, spilling blood cells into the dermal matrix. Blood pools under high pressure within the damaged tissue, forming a localized subgaleal hematoma that expands against surrounding nerve networks. Because the dense fibrous scalp tissue limits fluid expansion, the sudden pooling of blood creates a localized high-pressure zone. This pressure surge forces adjacent tissue layers to delaminate, maintaining continuous mechanical compression on surrounding nerve fibers long after the motor has stall-stopped or disengaged. The scalp features one of the highest densities of sensory innervation on the human body. Branching networks from the trigeminal and occipital nerves weave around every individual hair follicle, forming a sensitive sensory grid designed to detect the slightest mechanical movement or environmental threat. The sudden traumatic tension on the follicle mechanically stretches the neuronal membrane, forcing tension-sensitive piezo-2 ion channels to pop wide open. This mechanical breach destabilizes the cell's resting membrane potential, triggering an instantaneous flood of ions that ignites a high-voltage electrical alarm. Positive sodium and calcium ions pour into the nerve terminal, driving the internal voltage past its critical firing threshold. This rapid electrical shift, known as depolarization, generates a biological action potential, a high-velocity pulse of pure electricity that surges along the sensory nerve fiber. The high-voltage electrical impulses surge along heavily myelinated A-delta nerve fibers at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. Protected by dense myelin sheaths, these biological cables conduct unedited sensory signals directly toward the spinal cord and brainstem for immediate, automated emergency processing. Within milliseconds, the signal arrives at the spinal trigeminal nucleus in the brainstem. Waiting for conscious brain perception would take too long to prevent further tissue damage. Instead, the central nervous system processes the incoming payload locally, executing an automated, involuntary motor escape sequence. At the trigeminal cervical relay, interneurons split the incoming signal. Bypassing conscious thought, one branch fires a high-voltage motor command down efferent nerve pathways heading straight to the cervical spine muscles, initiating a powerful nociceptive withdrawal reflex engineered to pull the head away. The trapezius and splenius capitis muscles contract violently, tilting the head backward in under 80 milliseconds. However, rapidly retracting the head while hair remains mechanically locked around a 4,000 RPM rotating spindle creates an immediate physical conflict between machine torque and human anatomy. As the neck muscles pull back against the unyielding mechanical force of the vacuum, extreme shear stress accumulates across the cervical spine. The intervertebral discs and cervical ligaments are compressed under high load. turning a local scalp trauma into a secondary neck strain event. This violent, involuntary muscular reaction disrupts your kinetic center of gravity. As your head is jerked backward, your posture collapses into a chaotic stumble, forcing your lower body to execute emergency compensation steps while your brain finally registers the full sensory impact. Surging into the primary somatosensory cortex, the sensory payload reaches its final destination. The brain maps the exact location and severity of the injury, flooding conscious awareness with a blinding wave of pain that registers across the entire central nervous system. Within seconds of the mechanical injury, damaged cells release a potent chemical cocktail known as the inflammatory soup. High concentrations of substance P, CGRP, histamine, and bradykinin flood the damaged dermis, reacting chemically with nearby uninjured nerve terminals to ignite a prolonged neurogenic inflammation. This chemical surge dramatically lowers the activation threshold of surrounding nerve endings, inducing primary hyperalgesia and allodynia. As a result, the damaged scalp zone becomes hypersensitive, where even gentle air currents, cool water, or light clothing touching the head triggers fresh waves of intense pain. As the initial sharp shock from the fast A-delta fibers fades, a secondary pain pathway takes over. Uninsulated C fibers, conducting at a sluggish 2 miles per hour, begin firing continuously. This slow signal converts the initial sharp impact into that deep, sickening, rhythmic throb matching your pulse. Deep within the dermis, fibroblasts clear away damaged cellular debris and lay down dense collagen fibers. This localized scar tissue replaces the destroyed follicular bulb, leading to localized traction alopecia, where permanent hair loss occurs due to structural destruction of the growth matrix. What feels like a simple domestic accident is actually a brutal systemic event. High-speed rotary torque transfer, follicular papilla avulsion, high-voltage trigeminal nerve depolarization, involuntary cervical reflex execution, and a prolonged inflammatory chemical flood, all triggered in under 1/10 of a second by a vacuum beater bar. Mitigating this structural damage requires immediate removal of rotary torque. Modern vacuum systems with mechanical overload clutches or instant electrical kill switches kill brush roll rotation upon sensing resistance, dropping line tension to zero before pulling forces exceed the structural yield limit of human hair roots. So the next time hair gets near a powered vacuum, remember, it isn't just a tangle. It is your body's survival mechanics operating at peak physiological capacity against high-speed industrial torque. Subscribe to Biomechanics Studio for surgical-grade biomechanical breakdowns.